Hello, hello, welcome. Great topic today, actually inspired by an email that I got from a coaching client in a live coaching session. And the coaching session went, excuse me, I don't have my mic in. Let me start that over again. Just 10 seconds. So, great topic today. Sorry if the sound is a little off. Great topic today, actually. Personal growth versus waiting for your ex to come back. Versus waiting for your ex to come back. And what I mean by this, we can put this in different words if you want, or leaving the door open if they want to come back, or being available for if they want to come back. And I don't know if you could do both. Because if you've watched my channel, a lot of the stuff I preach is personal growth, personal empowerment, call it self-improvement. And there's a whole field of that online and books and whatnot. But I get a little bit more nuance, I think. And I think it's really an opportunity when you break up to ask yourself what you want to take inventory of in your own life. Because as an individual, this is where you have the most control of the outcome. And this is what drives us nuts when we're in a breakup, is the lack of certainty and lack of control about the future. And that's what anxiety is, really. You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about what's going to go right, what's going to go wrong, what's going to go right, what's going to go wrong. And you don't know. And you especially don't know when you're dealing with other people and you're dealing with someone else's feelings, someone else's past, someone else's purpose, and it doesn't line up with yours, right? It's like it's like puzzle pieces. And this is why breakups happen a lot of times. Values and morals don't line up, or just the path you're headed on. So everyone that's coming on the live stream, I will get to you in a moment. The question to start with would be, are you capable of committing to personal growth, to self-empowerment, to working on yourself, if you will, versus waiting for your ex to come back? Do you think that impedes the progress of working on yourself if you're in a breakup? Do you think you could do both at the same time? Because to me, it's really difficult if you're not in a good place mentally, physically, and you're not really happy with yourself in a lot of ways, to be receptive to your ex or any other partner that comes along. A lot of people are like, oh, I've been dating, it's been so horrible, this and that. Well, have you taken inventory on who you are as an individual? Because I know at times in my own life, and to me, I'll get to this in another video at another time, life's staggered with good and bad, right? It's almost like the mountain like this, or the heartbeat. Good time, bad time, good time, bad time, good time, bad time. And really, this is what growth is. So let me get into this really quick here. And this is actually an email I had today. I'm not going to show the email because I'm not going to, and I know this individual wouldn't mind because he likes to help people also. But it's less about him, and it's more about the topic. But in sending this email, let me just make this smaller for you guys. In sending this email, it came to my attention. I'm like, this is a really good topic to talk about because a lot of people are going through it. So what he asked is, he said, I'm struggling. I have 3 likely conflicting outcomes I wish to achieve here. And it was a really good question. He goes, so when he's saying I wish to achieve personal growth, and he put this in an outline for him, which was golden. It was beautiful because it makes it very clear, right? So he went, A, I'm struggling with point number 2 below. I have 3 likely conflicting outcomes I wish to achieve here. A, my personal growth. B, her healing and health. So the woman that he has broken up with has some personal issues. She has a lot going on with health and quite honestly, some mental things. And he's having a lot of trouble because she's very up and down on her emotions, and she's doing a lot of push and pull, and she's not committing to him in a relationship, and it's driving him nuts because she'll call him up one day and then she won't call him for 5 days, and she'll tell him when she talks to him, oh, I'll talk to you tomorrow, and they have a good talk and they reconnect, and then she goes MIA for 4 or 5 days, and it's just driving him crazy. But he's worried about her because she's not in a really good place. So he said, and C, leaving the door open in the future, there's a possibility of a healthy relationship after we both get help. So he's admitting that he wants help with some of his issues, and his issues are different than hers. But he's aware of these issues now that he's had a breakup. So the breakup served a purpose. Her issues are deeper, her wounds are deeper, and I don't think that he can actually fix those by being her partner right now. And he writes, I worry that simply staying in no contact now without explaining why I'm stepping back might make her feel abandoned or hurt or even less likely to obtain help, as well as closes the door more for the future. And he's saying that he would bet money that she's probably going to contact him in the near future, because this is the playbook and pattern that she's been running, where it's off and on, off and on. So I'll tell you what I wrote back to him in a moment here. Let's just see who's on deck. E.g. Dylan, good to have you guys. Like I said, I will get to your questions in a moment. So anyone about personal growth versus waiting for your ex to come back. So in regards to this, his question is, just to recap, he's struggling with the idea of focusing on his personal growth, focusing on her healing and health, or focusing on leaving the door open in the future if there's a possibility. He doesn't want to go into no contact without explaining why he's stepping back. And he's also in fear if he goes into no contact that this will affect her and her coming back to him. Okay. So I write, I understand your concerns and many others have this same issue. But let's lead with the highest level of good and you can bring to the world as a whole. Let's lead with what you have the most control over, and that is your personal growth. All streams and creeks lead to this main river of personal growth. I believe this breakup and situation had to happen to wake you up to who you are capable of being and who you want to be. So this is a bit deep, and I wrote that myself. As for point B, you aren't going to be the one to make her heal or healthy. It's good that you care so much, but the more unconditional support you lend her, I believe you are just creating a crutch for her ill behavior. She's not a bad person. She just needs to sort through her issues, and I'm not sure you can really help with that. You've tried repeatedly with no results. And this is a really good point right here. It's not that you haven't been trying already. It's the tactics and the strategy and the things you're doing aren't working and they're not helping her. So you don't have the playbook. You don't have the toolkit. You haven't been trained to help her in that area. But first things first, she has to want help. She has to be clear on what she wants help with. Okay. It's like when I have a live coaching session with someone, I ask them to be very clear about what they want help with. I ask them a set of 10 to 20 questions. And I ask them to write out their story so I know where they're coming from, so we can be very, very clear on what you want. Otherwise, the conversation will just go all over the place. You don't really know. And I can't really help you with your problem. And in this particular case, he's clear on his problem right now. When he came to me, he's crystal clear. And there's some conflicting issues here, and he's got to make some decisions. But clarity is a very good place to be in. She's not, so she's going to conflict his clarity. What can you do? What can you do is fully sort through yours. So let her be for now. We can talk about this more in the future sessions. I wrote, as for point C, you may send her a final note or message, but she already knows how much you care about her. So a lot of times people want to leave it on their note, or they want to reassure the ex over and over again that the door's open and that they really love them and they really care about them. They just want to tell them one more time. And you know what? If you want to do that and you want to do it in an eloquent way, or you want to write a letter, you can. I'm not against that. But at what point are you just repeating yourself 100 times over and reassuring someone about something they already know and they've just kind of taken for granted? And the only way they're going to appreciate that is if you go into probably no contact and take some of your energy away. You displayed that fully in the first day you met her. So the way they first met was a situation where she was ill and she was sick, and he came to her aid in a public place. And so what I was saying is that you have already conveyed to her the kind of person you are and that you are there for her, and she knows that already. And I'll close with this. It's like you are two wounded birds trying to help each other. So when you were a kid, you probably have had a bird fly into a window or a bird fall out of its nest and it was wounded. It had a half wing, right? If you've lived long enough, this has happened in your life. And maybe you took the bird and put it in a shoebox or maybe helped out the bird. But my point is, if you are also wounded, you probably won't be able to take care of that bird. And so what I wrote to him was this. It's like you are two wounded birds trying to help each other, but really both of you got to get better on your own. And to do so, you'll have to seek help from non-wounded birds. Does that make sense? I've been wounded before. It takes time to recover, and you need the right person to guide and help you. So it's a few different things to unpack there, but I think you guys get the point. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy walking away from someone you know is not in a good place. I've been there before, and you feel like you owe them something, or you want to keep making an effort to make them feel better. But really, I've said this before also, it's like a bucket with holes in the bottom, and you're trying to fill the bucket. The bucket just keeps leaking and leaking and leaking. And so it's an endless cycle of filling the bucket. And it's the same thing when you're dealing with someone with drug addiction, or you're dealing with someone that has depression, and you're doing all these things that you think are helpful and useful, and actually you're becoming this crutch. You're becoming the person that enables them to continue behavior that's not really helping them. And a lot of times people, I'll take alcoholism, for example. You need to hit ground bottom. You need a DUI sometimes. You need your wife to leave you. And I've experienced this in my own life and my own family when I was a young kid. Numerous times my dad had to go to rehabs. My parents, we moved, my mother and my sister and I, we moved out of the house numerous times. And each time that's when my dad would go to a rehab. Did it work every time? No, but it was a wake-up call. And he'd make the effort and he'd do what he had to do. And that's what I'm saying, is that someone's not going to make the effort until they have to, until they're not comfortable, until that crutch is not there. And that's why you have to, in your breakup, if someone's not being receptive to your help or your good intentions, you need to switch that energy into helping yourself. And you have to put those intentions into your own growth, because that's you being the best you for the world. Gets a little deep there. So let me get to the people over here. What's up, Dylan? The Tasmanian genius. EG's always on deck. Okay. What's the definition of personal growth? Well, it could be a lot of different things. That's a huge umbrella. Personal growth would be anything that you feel like you want to be a better person. You have areas that you are deficient in, and you want to work on them. So you want to identify the areas that you want to work on. So if you feel like it's a financial place, if you feel like you're a bad communicator, I have a lot of clients that just go, oh, I'm jealous. That's just how I am. In other words, my partner has to realize that and deal with it. And that's something that if you're doing personal growth, you're like, wait a minute, do you like being a jealous person? Do people like jealous people? Are people receiving that well? Are you going to be in good, healthy relationships if you're the jealous one? So you ask yourself these questions, and then you start unpacking why you're actually jealous. And then you go, all right, well, how can I grow out of this snake skin and shed it and become someone that's not so jealous, that becomes someone that's not so judgmental? So personal growth to me is a huge theme or umbrella for many different things, and individually based. You need to figure out the areas in your life that you want to improve on and you want to grow in, and not see a brick wall everywhere you go. Someone just recently left a comment, and I thought about reading it. I don't have it in front of me right now. And I often talk about the idea that moving somewhere can really help you out of a breakup, because it changes your environment, changes your mindset. And I've said before, it's not for everyone. If you have kids or you have certain situations, maybe you have a parent or someone in your family that's ill and you need to be close to them so you can't move away, I totally understand that. So this individual wrote, well, with this economy, not everyone can move. That's a brick wall that you set up for yourself. Okay. that is impeding you from doing better financially. If you're going to blame your lack of financial growth on the entire economy, then that's closed-minded thinking. And I'm going to give you a little bit of story based on this, okay? And this is a really interesting story. So the 4 people that are on deck right now, listen if you like, listen if you don't like. But where I'm going with this, if you have someone that goes, oh, the economy is so bad, right? Because this is such a general statement. And you using that as a reason why you couldn't move or you couldn't change jobs or you couldn't make more money is extremely limited thinking. And I've been there, and I've been the person to blame the economy. I've been that person before. And I'm not coming from a place where I'm like, oh, I made $10 million and it was so easy. All these people that are putting commercials on YouTube, right? I'm not coming from that place either. But the idea that you can't move because the economy's bad, you got to reframe that. So here's my story. Ready? When I was in real estate, residential real estate in the Bay Area, I was in an office, and there's a lot of different people. I was in my early to mid 20s. I think I was about 25, 24 years old. I was one of the youngest people in the office by like 10 years. So there's a lot of older people, a lot of wisdom in the office. And this guy came in, and starting out and starting business in residential real estate, you are an independent contractor. So you don't get a monthly wage, you don't get an hourly, and you really have to work without getting compensation immediately. And it's hard. That's what makes it difficult. So building up your business the first 6 months or a year it's really difficult because you're not getting that steady paycheck. And so it's a different mindset. So this individual started, and you'd see people start, and there'd be people that would quit in a month, 2 months, because the lack of measured payment was really difficult to deal with, because you're doing work and not getting paid for it. I could go around and show someone 15 houses and spend 3 hours with them, and they could say, goodbye, I have a friend that is in real estate. I don't want to deal with you anymore. And you get nothing. So this guy comes in, he starts, I think he was in his early to mid 50s. He was actually from Egypt, but he was an immigrant to California, had a little bit of an accent. And he was just, very green to the business, but very positive, right? And it kind of threw me off because it was right when the market was starting to go down in 2007, and people were kind of down and out, and they didn't know what was going to happen. And the stock market was crashing and all these other things. And he's going, hey, man, I got this idea. And you're like, yeah, okay, whatever, man. He goes, no, I think I'm going to start focusing on REOs, which are bank repossessions of properties, which no one in that office did. No one specialized in that. There was one real estate agent that specialized in that in another office, and he somehow had some contact, and he was minted, right? So here's this guy coming in his mid 50s, never been in real estate before, talks this big game, tells us about how he owned a business before, on and on. And he pulls me into the office because I was new and another younger guy was new. And he's like, look, I'm going to get in contact with this bank, and I have a couple contacts over here, and I'm going to start focusing on REOs. And I remember thinking, you know what? Yeah, right. You just started, pipe down, like in my head being, you're not going to build this into anything, and someone's going to talk to you. You've only been in the business 2 months, and you're going to get a relationship with someone at a bank and get all these new listings, and the listings aren't going to be good. Just my negative mind going and going and going. And I didn't say anything to him. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, Henry. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. And even me and my friend had lunch. I remember, and we were like, yeah, he thinks he's going to, get all these listings from, he has no clue. He just came into the game because I was already 6 months to a year in, and he's just, so excited about this idea. Well, within a year, he had a contact within one of the banks, and he was getting fed listing after listing after listing. And he became the REO guy, and he became someone that was immediately a successful agent. And it was because of his belief, and it was a lack of seeing a brick wall anywhere. Instead of seeing, oh, the economy's going down, oh my God, we're not getting the listings, he was like, where's the opportunity? Where's the opportunities in this situation? I'll tell you what else, folks. I didn't realize the significance in this story until I told it right now, because I just went back to my subconscious mind and relayed it. And my point is that we do this all the time. And all it is a frequency and an idea in our head that we're limited. Oh, the economy's bad, so I can never make money. Wait a minute. Hmm. Where's there an opportunity with this particular economy where I could maybe make money and do the same job or maybe do something better? It's just a switch in thinking, right? No one else in the office was thinking that because everyone was doing the same things at the same time they did 2 or 3 years ago. But when the tide shifted and the economy shifted, you need to look at new opportunities and new things. And that's what this guy did. And now I went back, last year in the Bay Area. He's like one of the most successful agents in the Bay Area. He's killing it. And now he doesn't just do repos and things like that. He flips houses. He does all these things. And the guy, I'll tell you a step further. The guy wasn't a great salesman. Sometimes you meet these people that can sell ice to Eskimos, but he just had an attitude like, I'm going to figure a way out and I'm going to make some money from this. And he did, and he did it the right way. He didn't trick anyone. He found an area that not a lot of people were touching into that was going to grow in the future, and he exploited it in a good way. And so when you get into these mindsets of, I can't do that because of this, you got to switch that and go, how could I figure this out? What would be this? Tim Ferriss likes to say, what's the simplest way I could actually do this? And I do this with myself. So shared a lot there. We got a few people on deck. Thanks for the likes, folks, if you can throw them up because it helps the algorithm. So I hope that helps you, EG, on the personal growth. G Money, if you're still on, what do you think personal growth is? Just chilling like a villain. How about you, mate? Laugh out loud. I'm enjoying the live stream. I'm planning a trip to town with my cousin this afternoon. All right. Is personal growth mental, physical, or something else? It could be all three. It could be a choice, EG. And personal growth should be things based on your personal, I don't want to use the word needs. That's what came to mind. Based on your personal areas of deficiency, your areas that you feel like, if I work on that, that'll make a real difference in my life. And since I've started coaching, I take inventory on things. I've made some improvements myself too. I've been there and done that. And now you give more and more advice. If you're a part of this live stream regularly, this will help you because you're around other like-minded people that are looking for solutions and looking to be positive, and not looking to be positive in a woo-woo way. We joke around. We sometimes have some negative comments, but for the most part, we're pointed in the right direction. Wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, Mac. Take your time. Waiting for your ex to come back is a waste of time. Where are you heading to, Dylan? If you keep waiting for your ex to come back, you won't be able to grow. That's I'm saying. If you have a mindset where you're going to wait around for them, yeah, it's going to impede your progress. Absolutely, I agree. You'll be more focused on the ex instead of yourself. Eric G, where am I heading to on my trip? You need to let go. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, Matt A, what's up, buddy? And if the ex reaches out and indicates they are hurt or confused by the distance, stay in no contact. This is a case-by-case situation, Matt A., and I know your case. And I would say for your particular case, I would treat it very neutral and delicate. And I would say that you probably want to stay in no contact for a little while, because I believe every time you get into contact, it's basically like, Matt, are you still on while I'm talking like this? Because I know I've went on and on here. But in your particular case, it's like she's coming to you and she's saying, hey, I fell down and I cut my leg, right? Let's say, and you come over and you put the Band-Aid on and you dress it up and you clean the wound and everything. And then she goes, okay, thank you. You know what? Maybe later on we'll talk this evening. And then you don't hear from her for 5 days. You don't hear from her for a week. You don't hear from her for 2 weeks. And you're like, well, is she okay? How's the wound? How's everything? And then she comes back to you and then you dress another wound and you heal something else. And it's just this repeated pattern. And the only way you're going to break that pattern, you're going to have to go, hey, look, I'm not available to fix it today. I'm not available to be here. And I think that's really difficult in your situation. But I think that for you to have that personal growth and for you to grow and for you to break that pattern, I think that probably has to happen. So in your particular case, I would stay in no contact for at least a month and block this individual. Not because you don't like them or don't care about them, but actually counterintuitive. You do care about them and you need them to be in a place where they're more responsible with how they make you feel and how they're leaving you hanging all these times. Does that make sense? Dylan Lucky, yes, now I want some KFC, and what you gonna do with the money? Okay. Seeing Corn and Alice in Chains right now. Gonna watch this one tomorrow. Have fun, y'all. Thanks, G Money. Everyone was asking about you yesterday, bud. You're a legend. Eric gave me some cash, and I'll get you some KFC, man. Okay. You guys are funny. Failure makes you stronger. That's the gospel. What's up, masculine energy? How you doing, buddy? This is actually a really good topic, I think. I'm not going to be on for too long. Thanks, Matt. And thanks for contributing to the live stream. Jersey girl, how you doing, hon? So sorry to hear that, mate. Keep up with the good work. Need to start somewhere. Laugh out. Might have to give KFC a miss. Okay. So maybe you want to chime in on this masculine energy if you're still on. Personal growth versus waiting for your ex to come back. Do you think, or anyone else, Jersey girl, you could chime in on this. EG and Dylan already have. But do you find this to be conflicting? To myself, I think that you probably need to focus first and foremost on personal growth, personal development, and that starts with finding out what you want to work on, correct? But I think it's difficult to do both, because if we embrace the idea of being single, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I know masculine energy is probably laughing about this because I know your sense of humor a little bit by now, and dealing with so many people because they're like, wait, I want to leave the door open. I want to leave the door open. I want them to make sure. I want to make sure that they know that I'm here for them, that I care about them, that I love them. And the thing is, they usually do. They know your character. They know who you are. And as much as you think like that's the way to go, actually, you are using a lot of energy, mental energy, staying and waiting, right? Let's put this into a narrative in some sort. Let's say that you were supposed to meet a woman for a date, right? You're supposed to meet a woman for a date. You go to her house, you knock on the door, her roommate answers. Her roommate goes, oh, she's not here right now. She will be, she said she'll be a little bit late. I'm not really sure where she's at right now. So you say, oh, okay. And then the roommate goes, oh, you know what? You can wait. You can wait on the couch if you like, because the roommate likes you because you're a nice guy. So you sit there, you wait on the couch patiently, you're checking your phone. And now after 20, 30 minutes, you're like, where the hell is she? What is she doing? Did she go out with someone else? Did she forget? You're sending her texts. You're sending her messages. This is a lot of fucking mental energy, right? I mean, you're starting to go fucking nuts a little bit. And the reality is, after 20 minutes, you should just leave and go, you know what? I got some other things I got to do. I'm not going to lend my time and energy. But you could literally build up all this energy and angst just on waiting. Just on waiting. Why do we hate traffic so much? Why do we hate traffic so much? We don't like to wait. It starts to make us think, can we get back home quicker? If this person moved here, would this person's driving too slow, this and that. They just cut me off. They didn't put their fucking blinker on, . So, the idea that you're leaving the door open or you're waiting for someone, it can be exhausting. And it absolutely takes away from you actually moving forward, improving yourself. And it's not attractive. It's not attractive to be the guy at the door that was waiting. You think that you're being caring and you think that you're being there for someone. And the reality is, the only time that works, maybe masculine energy, maybe Jersey girl, you agree with me, is when you're dealing with someone that will use you or is extremely sensitive to pity. So they'll take you back out of pity, or they'll take you back out of, how can I get some use out of this person? How, they can give me some money. You've seen this before, in a relationship, someone is insecure in some way and someone is using them for money or using them to help them with something. I don't know. When I was in university, there would be guys and girls that were attractive or popular, and they would have some sidekick or friend that would like do their papers, do homework for them. Right? There's people like that out there. Why is that? Because the other individual is insecure and they're waiting for the other person to tell them what to do. They're waiting for the other individual to give them guidance, and they're hoping somehow they can get some of that popularity, some of that gusto, some of that juice that other person has. And the other person, rather than saying like, "Hey, man, we're on equal ground," or will be like, "You know what? I'll use this individual because I can see that they don't have a lot of confidence, and they'll carry my book bags and they'll do these things for me, and I'll have them write a paper for me. And when I call them up, I can copy from them. I can borrow a few bucks." And it's the same way in relationships. That's why you don't want to be caught at the door waiting and waiting and waiting, because a lot of times they know who you are and your personal growth. What you want to do is you want to be that person. Wait a minute, I don't want to wait on anyone. I don't want to wait on anyone anymore. I care about this individual. I've told them that. I'm okay leaving it at this point. I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with it. And that's where you got to come with. Wait a minute. I've put a lot of effort into this. I showed this person a lot of attention. You don't want to be angry about it. You can even give yourself a fucking pat on the back and say, I'm a good ass person. I'm a damn good person, right? I've done some good things. I had a recent fallout a few years ago with a good friend of mine over some stupid shit. And I had to take some inventory because the person was throwing a guilt fucking blanket over my head or a net. And I'm like, did I really do something wrong? And then I'm like, take a few steps back. And I'm just like, I didn't really do anything wrong. This person and their values and their morals and where they're lined up, we're just in totally different directions. And when I look at it, I don't really have nothing to be sorry about. And that there's a lot of power in that, and being very clear about, I'm a fucking good person overall. I did good things right here. I led with good intentions. I was being honest. And you know what? If I did do something wrong, I'd tell them. And every communication can be a miscommunication. And every communication that can be a miscommunication, it's based on the filters, the values, and the way we look at things, folks. Okay? And so that's why you keep hammering and hammering, and all you keep doing is like, look at it my way, look at it my way, look at it my way. Look through my glasses, look through my glasses, look through my filters. And it's like people are like, what are you talking about? It's like speaking two different languages. That's when you need to step back and go, wait a minute, where's my power? Where's my fucking power? My power is to work on myself. And really, instead of finding all the glitches in this other person's system, because we all have some glitches, we all have some setbacks, we all have some flaws, right? Take a really good look at yourself and go, wait. Oh, yeah. There's some things I had to work on too, right? Oh, shit. I got some flaws I got to work on. Oh, my God. Okay. Let me get to work on that. Okay. Still here. Sounds good. We'll take your advice. Doing good. Just got done watching Detective Pikachu with the kids. I don't know what that show is. I'm assuming a cartoon. Don't worry about your ex. If they come back, they come back. If they don't, you've improved for you. I agree, Jersey Girl. These days, they make movies life made. It's not the same as the cartoons. Spitting facts. I only decided to be a singer because when I was a JB fan, I was determined to show him who can sing. But in the end, his songs won me over. He's inspired me to do much singing is my true calling. Well, stick to it, buddy. The movie was cute, though. I'll be a millionaire before I know. Good for you, Dylan. Believe, believe, believe. Long time I haven't seen a guy say, bruh. Long time I haven't seen a guy say, bruh. I don't know, but my nephew, who's 19, and he's got his own little slang, he says it all the time. So I noticed that's everyone's got dude, but I say bud sometimes. As kids, some people used to say cuz. They say that actually, like in the first Fast and Furious, like, what's up, cuz? I was like, did you just say But bruh's used a lot now. And I'm liking all the Disney movie remakes. Okay, Dylan, think I remember, don't. Go for your dreams, Dylan. Reach and reach and reach. Believe. Start making music. Put a fucking YouTube video out there with all your music. Start shipping. Let people judge your music. Right? Jersey, go out. I will. You can be my bodyguard if you want. Will do. I made short. What if I didn't give her no attention? How do I show her that I've changed? Okay, this is a good question because this comes up a lot. How do I show her I changed? You don't. Because that would be needy. That would be like, hey, I did this for you. They'll find out on their own if it's meant to be. Okay. You going and saying, hey, look at my, six-pack abs now. Look at this. Look at this. The ideal situation is you run into them, or a friend that they have ran into you and gets back to them with that information. You going to them and saying, look how much better I am. Look how great I am, is a bit insecure. Because if you have improved, you didn't improve for them. And if you have improved, you'll feel so much better that you don't need their acceptance or credit for it. You follow me? And if it's meant to be, they'll find out on their own. That's just how it works. Alexander Fournier. Are you French? There's actually a guy on the Magic that's a Fournier. Fournier? That last name he's a guard, I think, on the Magic. He's pretty good. Mac, I effed up. Me and my ex got in a fight and things got out of control. She broke up with me after. I begged a lot and destroyed my value. This was a year ago. I've been in no contact since. So if you've been in no contact since, I applaud you. That's an achievement in itself. If you fucked up, she broke up with you, you begged and destroyed your value. At that point, what else can you do but no contact? Are you going to continue to beg? That's not going to work. I would say start to give her attention, but I'll let Mac answer that since I don't know your situation. Well, Jersey Girl, your opinion's always welcome, as is anyone's else. I'm open to different opinions, and this is what the live stream is for. So speak freely. It's been 9 months of no contact, and we both moved to different cities. I'm trying to move on because she said she would never come back and never made an attempt to reach out, but I keep hurting. Okay, so number one, if it's been 9 months, you're carrying some deep stuff. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't sent me your full story, to send it into writemac.com, so then I can give you a tailored response. So, like Jersey Girl or I can give you some basic, short answer stuff. But if you're hurting after 9 months of no contact, something's not healing. Something's not healing there, and you're holding on to something. If I had to guess, you haven't forgiven yourself. So you did something wrong, and you're not giving yourself the ability to go, fuck, I messed up. I forgive myself. And there's some steps that I could probably help you with. And I would seriously think about doing a live coaching with myself or someone else that does breakup coaching. Masculine Energy's on if you want to check out him. Some of the other ones on YouTube, but spend the money and do it, because 9 months, what you want to do is start looking for solutions, because this is a problem. This isn't just about you getting your ex back. You're caught, you're stuck right now. Okay. If you've been in no contact for 9 months and you haven't made a whole lot of progress on feeling better. And so I would need to know more details to give you a tailored response. So go ahead and go to my website. Sorry. No problem, Alexander. Here's the thing. So you asked this question, like, I'll be fine either way, but just curious if you think you will. I meant a lack of attention in the relationship. How should I show her that I've changed? Again, I wouldn't try to show her. You need to be in a position that you're doing so well that you are not really seeking validation from your ex any longer. And that's a really good place to be, and that's very attractive. How can I stop? I still legit cry over how I hurt. I'm over it. The video I did yesterday is something good to look at, how you're talking to yourself and using your wording. So yesterday I talked about a lot of people saying, I don't want to give up on this relationship. And I gave some examples of reframing how you're talking to yourself. For example, I'm done. I'm tired of feeling this way and I'm moving forward would be better than I'm crying all the time. I feel bad. Your words create your reality. Okay. And reframing that into something that's realistic to you, but also positive moving forward is really important. So go to my channel and maybe look at the video that was done yesterday, and that might help you out a little bit with that. But I strongly suggest you send your story in first. If you'd like me to read the full story and give my full take, we can do that, or you can go straight to a coaching. And if the coaching is not helpful and useful, I will give you your money back. I haven't had to do that, but I do ask you at the end, is this helpful and useful? And if you say Yes, which most everyone does, or everyone has. So, is it normal that I talk to myself? Well, everyone that's on right now, we got 6 people on deck. We got 1 like. Throw me some likes here, folks. Um, you talk to yourself in your head, right? Right? I mean, so talking out loud, what the fuck's the difference, right? You know, I mean, um, sometimes I talk to myself in the car. Sometimes I coach myself. Maybe masculine energy does the same thing. Now that I'm giving so many other people advice, and I think I give very good advice, I got to hold myself fucking accountable sometimes, right? The number one, you want to know the number one secret sauce to self improvement, the key, the holy grail of self improvement. You guys might want to write this down. You might already know it, but you might not be doing it. Take responsibility and accountability for your actions, all of them. That doesn't mean to beat yourself up. That doesn't mean to be, I'm not saying like, oh, when you take accountability and responsibility, that does not mean that you sit there and batter yourself. Okay. And I'm 38 years old, and I'm telling you guys the straight truth. Masculine energy, you're 29. At 29, I wasn't there. I was still blaming and complaining about people. It wasn't until I dove into a lot of reading, a lot of audio books, a lot of lectures that I was like, wow, that is the holy fucking grail. And you'll find it too. It's like recently I have a coach, right? I have a mentor right now. And I talk to him bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks. And he's there to help me with my YouTube channel and how to run this in a business way, because I'm not as familiar. He's more successful in that way, and making myself more organized specifically. Okay. But I've missed a couple meetings, hence I'm not organized, right? Like there was one I missed, and he's like, Mac, where are you? This and that. And it slipped my mind. There was a misunderstanding. All these fucking excuses went through my head, right? All these excuses went through my head that I wanted to say. And then I went, you know what? I went, hey, Joseph. He gave me, and he's a really chill individual, and he's cool. And he's already been paid by me, right? So he's got his money in his pocket. I missed the thing, and he didn't charge me for it, but he's like, hey, look, you've done this more than once. Let's not get on a pattern. And I felt a little ashamed. I'm like, fuck, man. I missed it, and I had my reasons. And I went, you know what? How I fucking responded? I wrote him back, and I said, I understand. I take responsibility. You know how fucking clean that is? Instead of going, oh, I'm sorry, but I didn't see your email before, and then I had dinner with and then this happened, and then no one wants to fucking hear it. You're an adult. I'll take responsibility, and if you want to charge me for the half hour that we were supposed to talk, I'll take responsibility. I'll take the hit. Okay, Mac. And it was like, it's fucking earth shattering, because when you stop doing that, that's when you reverse the ship. That's when you take some fucking ownership of your life. And you'll find yourself battling making the excuses, right? Yeah, and when you do that, like I said, at first you're in, and I've been a teacher for years, right? So you deal with the student that's always late, and I'll tell you the truth, I was always late to work. If you let me come to late to work 10 or 15 minutes, I'll do it every time in the past. And I just thought, oh, that's just how I am. I'm kind of carefree. I'm laid back. And I wouldn't be like 30, 40 minutes late. I was a responsible worker. I was a good worker when I've had different jobs. But if you give me a little bit, I'll take 10, 15 minutes. I'll take 10, 15 minutes and say, oh, this or this happened. And then as a teacher, when people were like that, I'd have to sit down and go, look, this isn't by accident. This is a fucking habit. And I'm not doing you any favors by allowing you to walk in an hour late, hour and a half late to class, and disturb the whole class, right, at the university level. And they'd be laughing, and they honestly think at 20, 21 years old, oh, I'm just late. That's just how I am. No, people aren't born late. It's a habit. It's a pattern. Someone's accepted it. They somehow think it's part of their life. They aren't taking responsibility. Now, some other teachers go, oh, this person's always late. No, you're not taking responsibility. It's deeper than just being late. It's like, I missed that appointment. I've missed more than one. It's embarrassing, right? But he doesn't want to hear all my excuses. And when I said, I'll take responsibility, he was like, all right, crystal clear. He didn't need to badger me anymore after the fact, right? Because it's there. And that's the holy grail. That's at the center. That's the heartbeat of self-improvement and growth, is taking fucking responsibility and accountability. But accountability and responsibility in a sense that it's clear to you what you did right or what you did wrong. And I'll take it a step further. When you accountable responsibility, also, and I'm sure masculine energy, I'm sure some of you guys out there, I'm sure Jersey girl, if someone gives you a compliment or something, you're allowed to say thank you. You know, I've been in a place before where like you're a little insecure about a job. I remember when I was in real estate and I first started, you worked with a lot of people that were heavy hitters and made a lot of money. And so it made you feel really uncomfortable at first because you're like, I'm not that person. I'm not driving a Lexus. You know, I came from this area of town and all this shit. And you don't feel like you're a part of it. And so someone will be like, "Oh, Mac, you know, fucking, you got what it takes. I saw you at that open house. You did this," and you go, "Oh no, I didn't do it that well. I didn't do this." It's because you're not in a place to receive that information, even though they're saying you did a good job, even though they're saying you're a good agent. You don't believe it yourself, so you can't even say thank you. And it's like now doing coaching, I'll get an email back and someone will say thank you and they'll say it was great and you know this was really helped me out. Yesterday I got a great email. A comment saying that, and we had a pretty loose discussion for like an hour and a half on the live stream. And one lady that's been on the live stream before, not very often, was like, "Wow, that really gave me some peace today and it really relaxed me. Thank you for that." It's like, you know, like that's what you do it for. I only had 5 or 6 people on the live stream, but I also was like, instead of me going, "Oh, it wasn't that much. Oh, it wasn't that great. Oh, we could have done better." I was like, "Well, thank you for saying thank you. I appreciate it too, and it gives me some peace too." And that's a really good place to be in, and that's personal growth. That is the core. And some people, "Oh yeah, I've heard that before." Are you living it? Right? Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Take responsibility and accountability in a productive way, in an honest way, and it will change your life. And William James, who's the father of psychology, he's a Harvard professor in early 1900s or something like that. That was his quote. He said that he read a book somewhere. He was trying to find his purpose. I believe he came from a wealthy family. They talk about this in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, the book. They talk about it, and he says he read this book, and after that book, he goes, "Look, all I'm going to do for the next year is take full responsibility for all my actions." And he said after that year, it just changed his whole life, shifted his whole life. And ask yourself, am I taking responsibility here? Am I taking responsibility here? Am I taking accountability here? It'll change your life. And I've noticed over my time, people that are successful, people that do well. A friend of mine that owns a restaurant, I was just recently talking to him, and he's having a lot better year this year, restaurant and sports bar. And I said, "Look, man, you got a lot better staff this year, you know, a lot more friendly staff, and you got a better menu." And I go, "Well, the staff's probably not just your fault. You know, they come and go." He goes, "No, that was my fault." He goes, "I'm responsible for everything that goes on here." And I was like, damn. And this dude's a solid dude. He's made a lot of money in the past. He's a nice guy and he's outgoing. And just that statement, I was like, he gets it, right? He gets it that taking accountability is a big fucking deal. And I wasn't surprised when he said it. A little bit of a tangent there. Showing off with the knowledge he has. Well, thank you, EG. I religiously listen to audiobook, like before bed. I listen to audiobooks, or I listen to Alan Watts' philosophy. I listen to a lecture. In the car, I don't listen to music very often. So if I'm driving somewhere, I listen to audiobooks, or I listen to a YouTube channel like Joseph Rodriguez or 1% Better. They're talking about books and ideas and philosophies. And I'll tell you what, you want to gain some knowledge on a particular field you like right now, particularly for me, it was psychology, neuroscience, energetics, things like that. You have full opportunity now. You know, everyone's complaining about different things. The 21st century, folks, when I was a kid, you had to go to the library, right? You had to ride your bike and go to the library. You got, you know, now it's just all at your fingertips. Oh, I want to learn about that. All right, there's 50 different options. You want to become an expert at something? Just drench yourself in videos and different things and audiobooks on the subject. And it's all at your hands all day, all night. And you can easily reprogram your brain to be an expert or be someone that knows a lot about a particular topic or subject just by the amount of information that's available to you. It's no excuse. My life completely changed when I started taking full ownership of my life. It's a big deal, dude. Um, it gives more ego confidence knowing that she did so and I let it as it is. I don't want to mess things up if I respond to her. Do you want her back? How long has it been? Stay in no contact, EG. I've struggled with that, but I think I'm more confident now. So I do say thank you when I get a compliment. Yeah. I didn't realize this till recently, Jersey girl. And this is something I'm telling you guys. When I was younger, I considered myself confident, but looking back, and I even do it now. If someone gives you a compliment and you're a little insecure about that area in your life, you'll find yourself going, "Oh, well, I'm not, that good, this and that." It's really nice just to go, "Thank you." And that means that you're saying like, "Yeah, I know I'm pretty good at that." That's not cocky, that's not arrogant, that's confidence. That's attractive and that's fair. Someone going on and on about how great they are or how much better they are than other people, that's arrogance. Confidence is reaffirming, "Yeah, no, I'm pretty good at that. Thank you." Just because you read it doesn't mean you have to respond. That's true. I'm spit in the middle. I'm spit in the middle. The brain says yes, the logical reason, but the heart says yes, the emotion. Well, everyone does that. What's up? She's a Queen 19. Great name. I'm not sure where to go with that. The brain is usually the wiser of the two, but I'm all about the heart. The heart wants what it wants. Yeah, but if you lead with the heart and you just need to know the consequences, that's all. That's all. Joe Dispenza is very I love Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza. The funny thing about what he talks about and what he preaches, there's a lot of other stuff out there. It's just the way he conveys his messages is quite good. And the fact that that guy had a bicycle accident, I think he wasn't paralyzed, but he had like crushed his fucking spine. He got ran over basically on a bicycle. Okay. And was in the hospital and they wanted to give him this huge major surgery. And he was like, "No, let me wait it out and see if I can get through this with my mind." That was fucking amazing. Mr. Slamming 123. What's up? I hope you had an awesome weekend. I did have a good weekend with the live streams. I did some live coaching, went to the beach yesterday. I had some yoga sessions. So yeah, it was good. I've actually taken up the new practice, and someone was just telling me recently, "Oh, Mac, that's not available for everyone." I'm getting up every morning between 5 and 6 a.m. and going straight to the beach and going for a walk and doing some a hypnotherapy thing that I had. It's not an affirmation. It's like they put me into a trance and I listen to it on where I want to be and where I want to go. And it's been fucking life changing. And I'm studying it right now. I'm studying something. I just talked to the lady that is my hypnotherapist. And I'll say it's my hypnotherapist because I've used her over the last 6 months and it's been great. And also 10 years ago when I had my first breakup, she was a big part of helping me out. I love the library too, Jersey girl. I don't have a lot of good ones over here, but I used to love going to the library because there was good ones in California. It's just so calming, right? It's collective unconscious. There's a subculture at the library. Shh, be quiet. If someone's talking loud, you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? It's a library, man. This is a place to be calm." I told people when you're in a breakup, it's actually a really nice place to go to the library because everyone's calm, everyone's relaxed. It's almost like you can get in this flow state, right? Even you go up to the library and ask them a question. The people that work there, they're so calm and relaxing. Press the like button. Thanks, EG. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, going back to Joe Dispenza, impressive dude. If you guys haven't seen him, the books he has are good. What's the book called, Daniel? Changing Your Personality. I usually have a really good memory about this. I didn't like the title of the book, but the book is good. Take it easy. Have a good one, Tazzy Devil. Peace, Dylan. Sup, coach? If someone is no contact, you're not really available. for your ex. Whoever wants to come back into your life, they need to make themselves available to you. They left. Good point, Robert Soraka. I appreciate it. Exactly, Robert. Exactly. Exactly. She's a queen. It's yeah, I would say it's a form of guided meditation. At some point, I'll share it with you guys because I'm working on creating my own guided meditation for individuals, and I think it'll really help a lot of people out with breakups. And I'm doing it myself, so it's not one of those things where I'm like, "Oh, do this." No, I'm doing it myself. I'm not in a breakup right now, or I'm not feeling those particular feelings, but we all have things we want to work on, and I'm a big proponent of hypnotherapy. I think it works well. I also really like EFT, which is the emotional freedom technique, which is very easy. It really helps out with anxiety. And if you guys want to, I've suggested this before. EFT, they call it. There's different forms of it. There's different YouTube videos. You can kind of play with that. I do a guide, yeah. And there's a load of guided meditations online, right? So Michael Seeley's really good. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Thanks, Daniel. Great book. Great book. I think I didn't like it at first because I'm like, well, I don't want to break the habit of being myself because people always say, be yourself, right? But the reality is, do you want to reshape the clay, right? That would be awesome. I just got into a meditation not long ago. I was just gonna say Michael Seeley. He's the godfather on YouTube. Michael Seeley is outstanding for guided meditation. He's got a lot of good stuff. I actually listen to him sometimes. I haven't listened to him in a while, but yeah, and he can get you into that trance state. What I think is a little bit better, and I like Michael Seeley, is that if you do go to someone, and people are expensive. The lady that I talked to, because she's in San Francisco, it's not because her work's not good. It's because of the area she lives in. She's got to charge more, right? And I understand that. And she's good. She's got a ton of experience. If you guys want to go to her website and just check out what it's about, if you Google this name, Kay Heatherly, she's outstanding. If you want to book something with her online, I believe she can coordinate that. But her website, just about neuroplasticity and changing your brain. This is the quickest way actually to change out of a breakup. And this is where I'm going in the future with this. I think it's great when I do live coaching sessions and we unpack things. But if you really, really want to shift, like I've told you, moving, but also hypnotherapy is great because what it is that a book I was just listening to about psychedelics, because psychedelics are becoming a new thing for dealing with addiction. Fucking highly interesting book. They talk about your habits, like your ingrained habits. This is a really interesting way to say it. Your habits, it's like a sleigh's going down a mountain of snow. The sleigh is always going to lead to where the grooves are, right? Like if it gets onto the grooves, right? Let's say a sleigh already went down the snow. Another sleigh goes down, another sleigh goes down, or a sauce or whatever you want. Everyone's going to pick that same path because it's smoother and it's faster and it's quicker. That's how your habits are built. So when you're an alcoholic or you're one of these things, you just keep going back to those grooves because that's what's comfortable. And what happens in hypnotherapy is you reorganize those grooves to what you want them to be. I met a girl on Saturday and we exchanged numbers. How long should I wait until I reach out? Not long. Not long. If it was Saturday, what are you waiting for? Make a date. You know, say, hey, let's meet up Friday night. Don't do a lot of small talk. Don't do a lot of texting. Like, hey, what are you doing today? What are you thinking about? Don't be annoying. You guys got to get each other's presence and see if you guys have a good connection, and just have a good time. So, you know, and if she goes, oh, I'm not available Friday night, go, okay, well, get back to me at another time when you think it's good for you or whatever. But don't sit there and go, how about Saturday? How about Sunday? Make a day, make a time. She says, oh yeah, Friday works for me. All right, let's get dinner. Da, 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 right? Dinner is probably the best thing because you can talk. I would say maybe a day. If it was Saturday, today's Monday? Oh, okay. So today's Sunday, probably for you, Mr. Slamming. How did you get the name Mr. Slamming? 1, 2, 3. I don't want to look desperate. In the past, normally I would go call her next day, but I'm trying to change my ways to improve my center and calm. I wouldn't overthink it. If you met her and she had interest, you're completely okay to send, are you going to text her? Because that's what everyone does now. Just make a date. Don't put, here's what I would say, don't put so much weight on the response. Lead with good intentions, be honest, and don't be, that's not needy in any way because you're just like, oh yeah, I really liked her. We had a good connection. So if you immediately go into, hey, how you doing? I just want to see, you want to get together on Friday night? Straight to the point. Let's get dinner. You don't have to say, oh, I have this great place to go to, all this other shit, right? And go have a good time. Take her bowling or something. I would say maybe a day or so. Mr. Slamming, depending on how the girl is, don't overthink it, dude. Just ask her out. If you wait too long, she will think you're not interested yet. Just ask her out, okay? And if she says no, it was just another girl you met at a bar or whatever, wherever you met her, and you're gonna meet another one and see what happens. And if she's, like I said, if she's cold to it, then leave it alone. Don't, oh, well, you don't want to go out or this or that. I remember a while back, I kept running into this girl at the gym, and she was cute, and I could tell we kept making eye contact and whatnot. And I've told you before, I'm not a pickup artist, okay? I've had good relationships. I'm good in relationships, but I've never been someone that's like, oh yeah, I got 10 on my phone and this and that. Um, People that are like that, good for you, no problems, you know. Um, but so we kept running into each other. I lost my train of thought for a moment. We kept running into each other. Finally, we're in the steam room in the sauna, right? And we just happen to be in the same room by chance. I know. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, hey, you want to get together Thursday night and get dinner? And she's like, you want to go out with me? Like she was surprised, and I was like, well, yeah. And she's like, and I just kept calm. I wasn't like, oh, you're not available Thursday, or you're not this, or you're not that. And she's like, well, I usually go here, and I usually go there, and I go, well, if you got other plans, that's fine. Just like, I'm not being a dick, but I was like, okay. Just, I didn't say I'm not being a dick. I just went, okay, if you got other plans, it's cool. And then I just turned my head, to the other place in the steam, and she's like, well, no, I do want to go out with you. All right, well, Thursday works for me. She's like, okay. It was like just this little game of, I have other things to do, and I was just like, fine, you got other things to do, and that's the way you want to approach it, Mr. Slamming. If she says no, or she says she's busy, cool, no problem. You know what I mean? You got other things to do. You're not. It's not the end of the world. So, Mac, do you think my ex will reach out eventually after knowing my story? Jersey girl, I apologize. Based on the fact that you've changed your name on the live stream a couple times, I don't remember your story completely off the top of my head right now, so I can't. I do have a very good memory, but I don't remember. I would be, yeah. I'm drawing a blank. Ultimatums. Give me a moment. These live streams really put your brain in there. It's good because I process quick, but thanks, she's a queen. That's what being centered is the fact that someone goes, oh yeah, I have this to do, and you go, okay, no problem. And it's not like you're like, oh, you got other things to do, you don't want to go out with me. It's like recently, how many times do people do this? You go, hey, how old are you? A lot of women will go, how old do you think I am? Right? It's like, oh, you're always going to guess lower, right? You're always going to, just to be nice or something like that. Sometimes I'll guess higher just to play with them. Someone will say, how old do you think I am? And I'll say a number that's 10 years higher, and they'll go, what? Really? Come on. Because they're just looking for you to, give them like this. That's a way to be a little bit more playful. But what I'm saying is, when men do it, I've had guys do it, and I'm like, how old do you think I am? It's like, just tell me how old you are. What are we playing fucking kids games for? You know what I mean? Right? If someone's like, it's like, how old do you think I am? How many people do that, right? Someone asked me how old I am. I'm like 38, and I feel like I'm in good shape. I feel like I look 38. Someone says I look younger. I say thank you. I've had people say I look older. I say, well, there's a lot of seasoning on this dog. There's a lot of life experience here, and I smile a lot. That's where the wrinkles come from. You could take a good compliment or a bad compliment and reframe it however you want. 6 years, friends, 3 years as a couple. Okay, I remember Jersey Girl. Um, I think he'll reach out, but I think he's just gonna reach out to keep you in that gray area, uh, as a friend that could be a girlfriend in the future, possibly, because he's gonna revisit where things were before. It's just not an ideal situation, Jersey Girl, because you were friends longer than you were together, and he doesn't seem like he has as strong of feelings for you, and it's building up contempt in you and anger and it's upsetting you, and you're not and by being upset, excuse me, and by being upset and trying to push and lead with force, you're making yourself more unattractive. So take a step back and stay away, and don't be thinking about that as much as you can. When we let nature take its course, it's not a lot of work. Be careful with AMS. What does AMS mean? She's a queen. I'm not familiar with that term. I apologize. AMS, yeah. Use your surroundings when you're at to pick up women. What do you mean to use your surroundings? Alpha male, I think I've seen that channel. Okay. Oh, are you saying okay, so she's a queen said be careful with alpha male strategies that only works for low value women? I'm not familiar exactly what they are. It's interesting because I understand the element of masculinity and this beta thing that goes around, but we still need to be ourselves. We still need to be authentic, and at the same time, personal growth. We can change, right? I remember when I moved to Southern California from living in San Francisco Bay Area, I changed because my environment changed. I'd never lived on the beach before. Had sunny skies or surfers or skaters everywhere. I grew my hair out. I had really long curly hair. I had a little bit of a goat, like a little beard, and I started wearing flip flops. My style of clothes changed, and it wasn't like oh. And I'd go back home. My buddy's like, "Oh my God, look at you. Who do you think you are?" Because I changed my style, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. I changed because of the environment. I like the style, and it suited me at the time, and that's fine. But at the same time, your ideals and your morals have to line up. So if everyone has beta or feminine moments as a man, and women have masculine moments, and it's a dance. And that book that I did a review on that I haven't finished yet, but I did two parts, 45 minutes each, I believe. The Way of the Superior Man. He says it really well that the feminine and the masculine are this dance. It's this game that's moment to moment. And so if a man's always in his masculine, like 100%, 1,000%, that can be very attractive to a lot of women. But in society now, I'm not sure that a lot of people are going to be in that zone. And I think that's okay. Let's say if there's a male nurse, right? Because Keisha, Monica, you're both nurses. Um, it's funny how many people that are nurses that I get, which I take as a compliment to the channel because nurses are good people. Um, a male nurse, right? Some people would go like, "Oh, that's a bit feminine, right? Oh, he must be gay." No, I've met nurses that are males that are completely straight, and in their job, some of the things they do in a caring way, or man, or even a doctor, a pediatrician, could appear to be beta or feminine, right? But are they still an attractive man to certain women? Yeah, probably, right? And so it's a fine line. I think it's a fine line where you really have to be authentic and be yourself, be comfortable. I've had coaching clients that quote unquote you'd call them a dork or a nerd, and I say that with love. I say that with it's not a negative thing. It's just who they are, right? They're just who they are, but they're very comfortable with who they are. The type of person they are, and it's fun to talk to them, right? Um, and they have some tendencies, like someone will go, "Oh, this guy's a nerd," or "This guy's this," but that's who they are. And there's some women that go, "I like nerds," right? There's a sliver in the market for some women. Rob's on deck, Mr. Masculine himself. Shit, I was planning on making this short, but it's all right, folks. We're having a good time. I'll be fine either way, and I'm doing my right thing right now. I don't want to talk to him right now. I told him where I stand and that what I want, and he can either take it or leave it. Any woman that has her head or on straight will not stay with a man that follows alpha male strategies. He uses a lot of manipulation and trigger insecurities. Okay, it's not for everyone. That's for sure. There's info of high and low value women. Rob, you're quite late today. Better late than never. AG, he mentions high and low interest more than high and low value. I haven't watched it, so I can't judge it, folks. Hey, Rob, you are drinking at Starbucks. Yes, very attractive. Uh, what's very attractive, Keisha? I'm sorry. I even told him before I stopped talking to him for him not to try to talk to me into changing my mind because it's not going to happen. Yeah, you're making a stand for what you don't want, Jersey girl, and that's fine. Be patient with it and allow yourself to meet some other individuals because your relationship's deeper than that 3 years. You had 6 years of friendship, so it's conflicting a little bit. He preferred the friendship, you preferred the personal relationship, and that's where you're conflicting. They refer to AMS, the YouTube channel, seems to lack basic respect for women. See, that's what I mean, Matt. If it doesn't line up with you, okay, fine. This is the beautiful thing about the internet and YouTube. You take what you want from the information you get. Okay. It's like if I send you 3 books to read, a lot of times I'll give you 3 different perspectives. And I'm not telling you to like them. I'm not telling you to read them 100 times. I'm not, reading them multiple times, like Corey Wayne says, is a good thing because you retain the information. But if you read a book and it's against a lot of what you think, but then you take 2 or 3 things and you're like, oh shit, I didn't think of it that way. Then that's a get, that's a learn, that's a lesson. So read some things that are counter to your thoughts sometimes is a good thing, right? And take what you want from it. It's like if you take a class or you read a book and you get 2 life skills or two life-changing things or one life-changing thing that kind of really sticks with you, that's a win. That's a win. And you should be reading different perspectives so you can mold your own views. Well, read all these books and listen to all these audiobooks. There's no Bible that I follow. There's no one book. A lot of people do that. That's like for entrepreneurs. A lot of them follow Think and Grow Rich, which is a great book. And they follow that book. They follow that book. Rob, I asked, how are you? Where are you from? Where are you tonight? Look at Rob. Look at Robbie. Jersey Girl Jam, okay, but I'm here walking around downtown looking for a restaurant to hook up. No Starbucks tonight. Male nurses are attractive. Yeah, I mean, my mom worked for a dentist for years, and the guy that was the dentist, I mean, he wasn't feminine, but he definitely wasn't masculine. Okay, and he had a divorce, and then he had a new wife that was a hygienist at the office that was younger, attractive, and they have 2 kids, they have a great life, and he's a great guy, but he definitely wouldn't be a masculine guy. Okay, he has a great job, he's got a great purpose, he's a great parent. You know what I mean? No one would meet the guy and go, damn, that guy's he's a real man's man. uh, and probably what's attractive about a male nurse to you, Keisha, is you have something in common with them. Uh, they're probably good under pressure. They hold a lot of the same values as you. I switched over to the second cup. Matt, it seems you're quite sensitive of it. Gonna be in a slide up and come party. All right, look at you guys. I'm starting to date again, but still have a lot of blocks, mental, emotional blocks. I still push myself in a social situation. It taught me how comfortable we can get being alone. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to be comfortable getting alone for too long. She's a Queen 19. This was over a week ago. I would tell him not to message me unless he wanted more than friendship again after breaking up, and he would message me the next day. I find waiting a few months and rereading a book helps me see things differently over time. Great point. I'll see because by that time I'll be back to the school. Speaking about Coach Corey Wayne, do you agree with his philosophy about waiting 3 days to reach out to a girl and then talk to her once a week to schedule a date? No rapport over the phone. I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with Corey Wayne. I don't watch a lot of his videos currently. I respect and like a lot of information he gives. I'm not familiar with this exact process where you're saying like he's actually giving you kind of a playbook to run. Um, his philosophy is about waiting 3 days to reach out to a girl and then talk to her once a week. It doesn't sound bad. I mean, if you want to follow that, I wouldn't say that's a horrible idea. So again, Mr. Slammy 123, don't overthink it, bud. Okay. If you want to follow Corey Wayne's idea, go for it. If you're going into asking the date with this much, should I do this? Should I do that? Just lead with good intentions and honesty and ask her out, man. If you do 2 days or 3 days, it's not going to make that big of a difference. The more important thing is to lead with, she says, no, I'm fine. I can meet someone else. I have other shit to do. You're okay with either outcome. That's the important place to be in. And if you're getting anxiety, Mr. Slammy, before you contact her, go for a run, go for a walk, get some of that loose energy out of you. Mr. Slammy, why not wait to see what level of contact she prefers? Maybe she likes more or less. So let's get back to being available if the ex wants to come back. Mr. Slammy, in which video does he mention that? I'm not sure, Eric. I guess sometimes the wording he uses is extreme and surprised me. Yes, I watched a few, and it's an interesting perspective. I take from what it's worth. Yeah, that's fine. And Matt, if you don't like it, this is what's great about YouTube. Some people don't like my perspective. It's just fine, and you're allowed to have an opinion about it, right? So everyone's different. Mr. Slamming, the thing is, he calls himself an alpha, and he has a different perspective on hitting on women. Keisha, if X comes back, you have to act like it's no big deal. I wouldn't want to act. I would want to be in a position where I'm actually living like it's no big deal. And that's when you're in a really good place because you actually aren't acting. That's the ideal place to be in there. You're like, oh, wow, this is a bonus. This came out of nowhere. Oh, cool. Let's go out and see what happens. Nike One was like that. An X came out of nowhere and he was in a really good place and he said it was cool. Why is it Dwight Howard back to the Lakers? I don't know, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Probably, I guess. I don't know. Dwight Howard's. I mean, he was a falling star, dude. He's a goofball, that's for sure. I don't know if he's very good for the locker room, but he'd be a great sidekick for LBJ. But he's hurt all the time. People underrate when guys are hurt all the time. You can't do anything with guys that are hurt. He was hurt all year. No, he'd be great. If he's healthy, outstanding. The guy played like, I don't know how many games last year. He's just always hurt. And if you're going to have a guy on the bench that's kind of a goofball and kind of a weird personality, there's all kinds of stuff floating around about him. I mean, the Warriors turned down getting him last year. He wanted to go to the Warriors, and they were like, nah, we don't want him on the team. Draymond Green used to punk him in games. He's half his size. Why does that girl want a guy to chase them after they break up? Why is it that girls want a guy to chase them after the breakup? Everyone likes attention. Everyone likes the ability to be in the driver's seat. And when a guy chases you, you have that ability. And it weans them off the relationship. Every time a relationship of mine ended, when the girls came back, they always ask me, why didn't I chase them? I like you. Well, maybe that's happened to them before. And that's the ideal situation for them because it gives them power. But you have to ask where your power is. And you're putting yourself in a situation where they always have the option, but they also have the option if they don't want you, and them not being receptive to that is not fair because women are taught that men are supposed to be the pursuers, Robert. Initially, maybe. Keisha, time waits for nobody, so who the hell am I? You can move on emotionally and get in a happy place without dating tons of other people. Okay. 6-man, yeah, he could be an outstanding 6-man if he's healthy. Rob got y'all, hit you up if something comes up. The person that did the breaking up should be doing the chasing unless it's your fault, like cheating. I've seen cases where that's not necessarily true, but overall, okay, Jersey girl. Wild will be the night we'll have that day. All right, folks, I do have to go. This has been great. Now it's just heating up. I was in a long distance relationship. I moved to where he is for different reasons, but also with the hope of me connecting with him. And he has not even reached out. Well, he's telling you who he is, huh? Mary, Mary, how are you? Don't drive and text, please. Please don't drive and text. I'm very against that. When I see people do that, it's just like a pet peeve. Have you watched the movie 7 pounds? Have you watched the movie 7 pounds? Please don't text and drive. Not saying you're doing it, Mary, but don't. Okay. So you were doing it, right? I apologize, Mary, but I do have to go. Well, thanks, Matt. Thanks. You know that you helped out with this topic in some ways too today. Um, and it's good to have you on the live stream, but I like your perspective. Folks, if you feel like, someone asks you a question or someone challenges you on this live stream, this is a place like, why are you upset by their opinion? It's a really good question to ask yourself. Okay. Keisha, peace out to you also. Folks, I do have to go. I will be back on deck tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I might not be on early though. Private jet could cost me about 9,000 ST LA. Wow, that's loot. All right, folks, gotta go. Good night, everyone. Have a good one. It's curtains.